Well, I'm joined once again by Chris Everett. She is the author of The Prescription for a Healthy Retirement. Chris, thank you so much for speaking with me once again. This week, we are going to be diving into the third chapter of your book, which is all about Social Security. And it's pretty crazy, but as I was reading through the first chapter, I had a light bulb moment. I don't think about Social Security a whole lot. I'm younger, and so I don't think about it a ton, but most people work for 30, 40 years, maybe sometimes at the same place, building up their Social Security and planning for that. And then when the time comes for them to claim all of their Social Security benefits, they really don't know how to go about it. What's the first step to take? So what advice would you give to someone that's maybe in that situation?
Sure. Well, that's a phenomenal question because most of the time when people are working 30, 40 years and building the Social Security pot, it might be nowadays the only pension plan that they have. You know, if I would have said to you 20 years ago, who has a pension plan? Just about everybody in the room, if speaking, would have raised their hand. They have a pension plan. But in the last 10, 15 years for sure, we have done more analysis on pension plans because many companies are unwinding them. They're unsustainable, they're unaffordable. And so since the firm cannot keep paying into the pension, what they prefer is to give their employee a bag of money, right? And so the employee gets this bag of money and they're supposed to create their own pension with it. I say all that to say, getting back to your Social Security question, if Social Security is your only pension and you don't have a bag of money or you don't have a pension plan, then, oh my goodness, you need to make the right Social Security decision. And so getting information. Now, we work with a team of Social Security experts so that we can help our clients make the very best decision. You can't just wing Social Security. And I've heard all sorts of things about it's not going to be there. We should take it right away. I'm 62. Let me turn it on before it runs out. You know, and so we want to look at that decision, not emotionally. We want to look at it factually and look at it inside of all the other components that you have, all the savings that you've done, your house or other real estate you may own annuities, insurance, whatever. You want to take a look at it all. And that is how you help to inform the best Social Security decision.
Right. So you made a comment in an earlier recording that money is not exactly math. It's a little different. So what do you mean by that exactly?
Well, let's see. If you had 3 apples sitting on a table in the backyard, you'd have 3 apples. But life does something to those 3 apples if you ignore them and just leave them sitting on the table, right? A squirrel could come by or they rot and go away. So math is not money. It's not life. You have to ebb and flow with all of the other components that make up your retirement financial success. Because the only thing my clients want is retirement success. They want a pleasant retirement journey.
So what options should a person or a client of yours consider when they're thinking about when to claim their Social Security, whether it's right at retirement age, a little bit after? What advice would you give to them and what options should they look at?
Slow down, get some more information, get all the facts, pull all the pieces together. And sometimes I'll meet with people and they'll tell me when they're going to take their Social Security because they figured it all out. And I'm thinking, okay, well, is it, and thank you, but let's test that, right? Let's see if maybe you can start it earlier or start it later. It really comes down to getting complete information. Don't make this decision in a bubble. Don't, in a vacuum rather. You want to have enough information surrounding your decision. Kind of think about it. You know, if you start your Social Security too early, and we talk about this in the book too, the increases that you get on your Social Security are based on that lower amount because you started it earlier. What if you're married? And what if when you pass away, your spouse really needed the most robust Social Security benefit, but because you started it too early, Now they don't have as much as they had. If we would have just slowed down a minute and really took a look at everything that you needed to look at before making that decision. I like a broken record.
Not a bad thing, but you did bring up earlier about just the difference in pension, how kind of as a country it started to look different for a lot of people. What started that? This is just something I've wondered for a long time. Why were pensions a thing, and then why did they not become a thing?
Okay, so in the 1950s, Paul Perot wrote this book, The Pension Idea. And he said, and so I read that maybe 25 years ago, he said there that pensions are basically unsustainable. And he goes into all sorts of rationale as to why. If anybody wants a copy of that book, just let me know. It's like 50 pages, but it's brilliant. And so we used to be this agrarian nation, and we were on the farm, and everybody worked together. They took care of themselves. Once we got away from that and we went to the cities, we expected corporations to take care of us instead of taking care of us ourselves. Well, now the corporations are saying, oops, can't fund that anymore, because they really put ridiculously high projections in place to suggest that the pensions could be sustainable. But when the market couldn't support that, they fell apart.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for once again just sharing all of your wisdom and your insight with us, and really educating me on something I definitely don't know a whole lot about. So I appreciate you. And I would encourage everyone watching or listening to go ahead and pick up a copy of Chris Everett's book. It's The Prescription for a Healthy Retirement. It is an Amazon bestseller. So be sure to check it out and pick up a copy. Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.